So the reason why we're looking to spend 500 million over the next 12 months is we think there's a unique opportunity at this particular time that probably hasn't existed in the last 23 years. We've got a scenario where there's uncertainty in the market due to Brexit. There's tax levels that we've not seen since they were introduced in December 14 ever in the history of property. And those two factors have driven the demand down and the volume of transactions has dropped at the higher end. That's giving us opportunity. Where there's uncertainty, there's opportunity. And to take advantage of that opportunity, you have to invest. Fundamentally, London is still as strong as it's always been, whether it be for the quantity of global demand, whether it be for the quality of life, whether it be for the educational systems that exist, whether it just be Britain as a whole reflected in its capital city. We don't think that those circumstances have changed to a degree that we don't want to invest, but we're conscious that the right time to invest is at the bottom of the cycle, and right now we think it's the bottom of the cycle. We're going to refresh our portfolio in the next couple of years by having more time to concentrate on the refurbishment, which we perhaps held back on because we were busy acquiring second-hand stock. Most of the stock that we're looking at buying these days is built off-plan by other developers. So Palace Wharf, the residents from Bellway that you guys have recently covered our purchases are brand new product. So all we need to do is furnish them and rent them. It means we can concentrate the rest of our construction side, our development side, our interior design side on refurbishing the stock that we have. Gets us better rents, it's a good way of pushing the values. So between the mix of bringing in new stock and having time to concentrate on refurbishing the old stock, that's how we're going to refresh it. So the central London market is definitely feeling the effects of stamp duty. Your call-off duty campaign is completely on the money, and it's not just been reflected in property journals, it's been in the Times, it's been in the Telegraph, it's even been in the Daily Mail. There has been a fall-off in volumes of transactions that are affected by higher rates of stamp duty. It's been somewhat offset in the total take of tax on SDLT by higher numbers of transaction levels at the bottom end of pricing. But fundamentally, the biggest issue is the lack of new startups. We used to have 30,000 in London every year, we're now down to 20,000. That's 10,000 homes that aren't being built. That's 3,000 to 4,000 affordable houses that aren't being built. That's a lot of construction, it's a lot of turnover, it's a lot of sales volume. It's also a lot of wider tax that isn't being earned. So fundamentally, we still need to go and show the government that they've overcooked it at over £925,000 of property, and that by readjusting either the rates or the thresholds or both, so you can swallow up a larger percentage of those properties that aren't being sold or aren't being built, you'll spurn on development, you'll spurn on regeneration, you'll spurn on affordable housing, you will create billions of pounds of turnover, which will have many hundreds of millions more of revenue. This is exactly the right time for us to be standing up with one voice, stating to the politicians that are here and the relevant economic advisors that we need these changes to make sure that London and other urban areas, and predominantly large swathes of the southeast, do not suffer because of these higher levels of tax. It's an interesting statistic that I came across the other day. There's over 600,000 homes in the UK that sit over £925,000 a home. That's not 20,000 transactions a year out of 1.1 million. That's 600,000 people who are being affected by this tax. Either they can't sell, or they can't get the price they wanted, or it takes longer to sell, or they can't downsize, or they can't buy a bigger home for their family. That's a sizable chunk of the people in the UK, and it needs to be addressed before it causes any more pain. So Brexit's certainly the relevant topic at the moment. Theresa May with her decision to serve that notice in the next couple of weeks. It has had an impact on the market. It's dampened enthusiasm to invest in the UK, certainly on residential terms. But most of that dampening was coming out of new investors. Established investors who understand the real value are still trying to find opportunities, such as ourselves. I think we've got a long haul. This is a 3 to 5 year game until we finish. It's not a 2-year game. So realistically, Britain will come out in a better space. I think most people believe that. It's going to be painful to get there, but we're not shy in putting our foot forward as a country. So one would hope that this particular government, and whichever government follows, will do the best they can for the people and get the right results. I just think, unfortunately, it's all coming at once for residential. Higher taxation, 34 changes in the course of the last 4 years, specifically on residential. Brexit uncertainty, it's given the market a push downwards, and that's the delicate part. But for our policy and for our attitude towards it, we're keen to get on with finding the right deals for our kind of products in prime central London, and we're not taking Brexit as a no, we're taking Brexit and trying to make it work for us.